So you guys will remember I did mention that I wanted to do a point review on Black Coffee's testimony.
I literally saw everything, man. I saw my life ending. I was like, this is it. And I was praying. I wasn't even praying to be alive. I was just praying to get to heaven good.
When I just note something, I'm going to just pick one part of that testimony and I'm going to talk about it. And you might be asking, what particular part is it out of that testimony that I thought held such a powerful point that I'm going to come back here and talk about? It's the show with daily Christian commentary videos. If it's the first time over here, to be sure to check out the other videos that are down in the pinned comments and I'm going to check you out over there. This is the part and I'll be back in a second.
Yeah.
I'm like, don't lock me out, God.
Whatever it is,
Yeah,
let me in.
I don't want to be on the other side.
Yeah. I don't know what it looks like.
It was done. I feel like it was done. And here I am, man. I feel like I've been given a second chance.
We thank God.
And I've spent time at home. And I was looking forward to spending time at home so much. And now it's towards the end. I was like, but I don't feel like there's been an impact. This is like a week, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I don't know what's missing, but I feel like I'm still the same guy. And I was hoping I wouldn't feel like this when I go back to work again, And I called Kabelo, the pastor.
Mamalan?
Yeah.
Bugatus.
I'm like, man, this is how I'm feeling, and I need to talk to someone, Obviously, I mean, I've been going to church. I went to my mom's church.
Yeah, we saw that.
I went to my mom's church.
Yeah.
And, I went with the family. I went again alone. I could not feel, something was just like not there.
Yeah.
Many different churches, mostly they have like a list of things that they would ask you, like when you gave your life to Jesus, did you say this? Were you confessing to this or what? They have like an entire list that they will take you through. And if you didn't do any part of their steps, they will discredit the salvation and forgetting that it is the moment of believing in Jesus that is the subject matter. I remember when Smart Christian was doing a live stream a few days back, and that was the question he was asking. When is it that a person has salvation? Is it at a point of belief? During their salvation, after, what is it? Is it a probation thing? Or what would you call it? And a lot of people had many different answers and stuff like that. And I thought on this one, there is something to take away from it. You see, after everything that he explains, when it comes to this particular subject, he went to all churches. If you remember what I mentioned when we spoke about what message did he hear, it turns out that he had been having this feeling of dread. He had been having this feeling almost as if he was in the wrong position. It felt like he had a hellhound on his trail. Now, that particular phrasing that I'm using there, it's a phrase from a musician called Johnson, and who was a blues player, who used to say that he had a hellhound on his trail that was after him to send him to hell. And he sang about it and so forth. And so what Black Coffee describes there, it sounds like that type of an experience where he's at the end of having seen everything that life has to offer, and he feels absolutely nothing until the person has a turn towards salvation. Because life has nothing to offer. He's seen it all. He's seen all aspects of life. If he walked into your church and he found you speaking about success, money, prosperity, health, and wealth, this particular thing would not mean anything, because he says something in that video, in that testimony. He says, whatever I experienced during the accident, after, I did not expect that I would feel the same. He expected to have had some type of a change because of where his mind was. He expected it, like, wait, that experience should have resulted into me feeling differently. I wanted to be more devoted and more conscious and more, but all I can feel is emptiness. And so, if anybody had any point of doubt, that interview answered all of those doubts. It answered every single little thing. You see the storyline, everything. You can't make that up. You can't. You can't, because even as you are supposedly making it up, you have to have felt what you are describing, or you have to have the conviction of what you are describing. He says, at the end of the day, I expected to have felt differently. And he says, but no, I wasn't. And so he's trying to make sense of it from having visited his mother's church. We're not dissing his mother's church, but what messages are you people preaching when people come to church? And when they were preaching, he didn't feel anything. Now it's when he calls Kabelo, because he was like, Kabelo is a pastor. Maybe he can break this down. And thank God it's not a moment where someone wants to grab a seed, a one-on-one, and all those kind of things. It's a person who is passionate about having people hear the gospel. Mabalani, we are proud of you. We are proud to call you a brother. Kabelo comes, and the first question, guys, look at this thing. I think this testimony is very powerful, extremely powerful. Like you think of what Casper said and you think of what Black Coffee says. These are huge testimonies, okay? Black Coffee says, Kabelo asked him, he explained the gospel, everything. You're supposed to live like this. You're supposed to be worshipful towards God. And he says, okay. Then Kabelo comes to the end of his message and says, gentlemen, are you ready to receive God? Are you ready to say yes to Jesus? And Black Coffee says, he raised his hands and he said, no. That's not what I called you for. That's not what this is about. That's why I say, even if you were to say the story is fake, it's playing. When you make the story up, you have had to have had that conviction. You would have had to, because here is the message. And you say you were hearing the message. And then all of a sudden, when it comes to the result of what the message requires, it says, no, I don't need Jesus. It's a Jesus thing. No, I don't need Jesus. I just needed clarity about why am I feeling like this? He says, hey, excuse me, the reason why you are feeling like that is because the emptiness, the hole that you cannot feel, only can be filled by God. It can only be filled by the Son of Man who was sent to save us all from ourselves. You see, in all your pursuit, it only satisfied you. And he confirms it later on that little did he know that that's exactly what he wanted. He says he's always had this idea of a person who lives this type of a lifestyle, who lives in this type of a house or drives this type of a car. So meaning the success that he has had. But he says, there was one thing I also wanted, to be a person who knew God. And when Kabelo brings that particular part, he says, no, when I say, are you ready to receive Jesus? What am I saying? There is only relationship that fills. Relationship with God is the one that fills that hole. You see that feeling? That is filled by, and then he puts forward the clarity of the gospel. But if we keep getting too occupied about everything, you preach prosperity, prophecy, people running on the ground, whatever your church is into, when people come, like Black Coffee, they're not there to give seed or none of that stuff that you people are into. They're there because they need God. Can you put yourself behind? We know you have bills. And when they come to your church, that's the first thing you think about. The first thing you think, this one can pay the bills. And then you become selfish with the message. That's exactly what I was asking about Mr. Ibo. When he was going about all these churches, all these people that would invite him and so forth, and what what moment did they get to deliver the message? What message did they deliver? Was it just healing and whatnot? Because at the end of the day, healing is only for this earth. But when we cross over and go to the other side, it's Christ that we need. Are we making sure that people, when they encounter us, they have a moment to have a seed of the word? Or is it just, sing, prophesy, and whatnot? At the end of the day, we are missing the opportunity of giving these powerhouses the message of the gospel. They will see how they grow in it and how they interpret it. I saw earlier on, Casper yesterday posted a snippet of a new song that he's writing called Blessed. I'm not sure when he's releasing it. And the snippet it's him talking about that confidence of being saved, and the devil can't use him now, and the devil not having a hold on him. So I'm very interested in hearing what that song sounds like. It's because these are powerhouses. By that I mean these are people in the society who a lot of people look at, and someone might have been thinking, shut off church, until these people said, pause. Have you considered this? Black Coffee's message is exactly that. I went through all aspects of life. I never went down the dungeons and none of that stuff. I've not lost my career or anything. I'm at the height of my career, but there was this emptiness. And that emptiness could be filled only when I had Jesus. So it's a very powerful testimony, amazing stuff, absolutely amazing. Excited. I'm excited. I mean, when people come to faith, I'm very jolly, receiving. We've had too much of the devil in South Africa. People literally became famous talking about the devil. TV shows talking about the devil. Yeah, they bewitch. Talking about the devil. That is what became popular. So we need voices that speak for God. Everywhere you look, you turn around, you look that way. Everyone is wearing a mahia and whatnot. Mahia, those clothes for sangomas, and everyone is initiated. They have spandlas, they have everybody has their own things. We need the gospel. We need the gospel. And don't jealous us. No, don't be jealous. Don't be jealous. Don't be jealous. When some of the biggest voices in South Africa are speaking that. You can keep those ones that speak for the devil. You can keep those ones. We are proud of these ones who are proudly speaking of their position in the Lord. It's the Reality Show with daily Christian commentary videos. Other videos done today, they'll be down in the comments, and I'm going to check you out over there.